The article discussed in this slideshow is written by a senior political writer by the name of Suzanne Milligan from U.S. News and World Report. The article is titled, House Committee Returns to Focus on Climate Change. It is about what the United States is currently doing to reduce carbon emissions. For the first time in 10 years, Natural Resource House Committee staffers met for a hearing. Individual states are stepping up to make positive changes, with Massachusetts in the lead. The state has a goal to reduce greenhouse gas emissions by 80% from 1990. Greenhouse gas emissions are the leading contributor to global climate change, and it is the biggest threat to life on Earth. This is a non-biased article. It does not take a political stance, nor does it present any scientific evidence or suggestions. The report aims to inform the public about what is going on in the United States regarding climate change and greenhouse gas emissions. So here's what's going on. Under the current administration, the U.S. federal government and Congress have refused to take steps towards reducing carbon emissions. The U.S. is the second largest carbon emitter in the world after China. However, the U.S. is only about a fourth of the size of China's massive population. Therefore, individual states have been stepping up to tackle this severe issue that harms the entire planet. Environmental activists have been closely monitoring the progress made by state governors and have had enough of their citizens' health being put on the line. North Carolina is tackling their greenhouse gas emissions by putting stricter regulations on motor vehicle. The state plans to replace 80,000 vehicles with zero-emission vehicles. North Carolina is also tackling greenhouse gas emissions by using state-owned buildings as an example for the rest of the public. North Carolina's state-owned buildings will have a goal set to reduce per square foot energy use by 40%. New Jersey has held electricity suppliers responsible by requiring that half of all electricity in the state of New Jersey come from a renewable source by the year 2030. Meanwhile, their neighboring state, New York, has them beat by 5 years in developing an energy storage technology that will supply 1.2 million homes with power by 2025. This is expected to save the United States carbon pollution by over 1 million tons. Suzanne Milligan reports that the U.S. state of California is in a class all by itself, with a broad-based plan to reduce greenhouse gas emissions, promote renewable energy, and develop cleaner cars. After a long, heated argument against U.S. President Donald Trump, former California Governor Jerry Brown signed a cap-and-trade law on July 25, 2017.
And if Trump turns off the satellites, California will launch its own damn satellite. We know the data, we know what's happening in the world, despite the deniers. Climate is changing, the temperatures are rising, the oceans are becoming more acidified, habitats are under stress. The world is really facing this tremendous danger. Some people say that they're going to turn off the satellites that are monitoring the climate.
California Governor Jerry Brown signed a bill that will allow the expansion of the program to 2030. The bill was expected to end in 2020. However, after the state reached its goal 4 years early in 2016 of reducing greenhouse gas emissions by 429 million metric tons, the governor decided to take a stand and continue to improve greenhouse gases for the state. There are two ways that states are stepping up. One, finding ways to reduce climate change impacts, and two, adapting to climate changes that have already taken place. The state of Massachusetts is doing an excellent job at reducing greenhouse gas emissions. For the 8th year in a row, Massachusetts has been ranked number 1 in America, the Council for Energy Efficient Economy. Massachusetts Governor Charlie Baker has stated that climate change is not a bipartisan issue in his state. It is puzzling as to why it is a bipartisan issue for the rest of the United States. Governors from both parties are taking huge stands to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and slow down climate change. Still, it has been a struggle to get any sort of funding or support from the U.S. government to make these changes happen. President Donald Trump has made it clear on any occasion that he does not believe in climate change, despite the countless facts pointing towards its evidence. According to Milligan, when communities were experiencing record lows of minus 43 degrees 1 week before the hearing, Donald Trump tweeted, "What the hell is going on with global warming? Please come back. We need you." It is evident that the U.S. president has not done his research about climate change. However, somehow he does not believe in it. According to the U.S. News and World Report article, in fact, global warming, or climate change as it is more commonly called, causes extremes in weather. After a polar vortex had communities closing schools and businesses because of the cold last week, dramatic temperature swings of 60 degrees or more had those same areas experiencing daily highs this week. For the slideshow, this has been fact-checked several times by websites including a Washington Post article titled, "President Trump, Here's What the Hell is Going On with Global Warming." It is this article where this image was retrieved on this slide. If you take a look at the picture, the regions colored red are experiencing higher than normal average temperatures, and the regions colored in blue are experiencing colder than normal temperatures. Cold winters do not mean that climate change is improving or somehow going away. Sometimes Earth experiences cold winters due to a condition called Arctic oscillation. So we experience wind as air moves from high pressure areas of the globe to lower pressure areas. And when the air pressure is high in the Arctic regions of the planet, cold air moves south into countries like the United States. And as this cold air pushes south from the North Arctic regions of the Earth, it's the basics of a negative phase. Here you can see on the left a positive phase oscillation, and on the right a negative phase, which causes colder and wetter, freezing winters.
The C-SPAN networks bring you long-form public affairs programming from the nation's capital and or public service of your television provider. C-SPAN, created by cable.
Of national attention, in case we have forgotten, because we keep hearing that 2014 has been the warmest year on record, I asked the chair, you know what this is? It's a snowball. And that's just from outside here. So it's very, very cold out, very unseasonal. So here, Mr. President, catch this.
Furthermore, a rise in global climate change has heated the Arctic regions in the globe, causing ice to melt. Research conducted by Korean and European scientists released in 2015 shows evidence that this rise in temperatures is to blame for harsher winters. The study was published in a peer-reviewed journal called Nature Geoscience. According to Inside Climate News reporter Catherine Bagley, the scientists triple-checked their findings using temperature and weather data from recent decades, jet stream simulation experiments, and global models. So colder winters do not prove Earth is not suffering from a rise in temperatures due to greenhouse gas emissions in the atmosphere. Earth is in trouble. Some 79% foresee a serious problem for the United States if nothing is done to prevent global warming. And 76% see a serious threat to future generations. So what is standing in our way? It is time we shut the mouths of wealthy, overbearing politicians and take back our country and our planet. From the beginning of time, humans have felt as though they are stewards of the earth. It is time we pick back up our responsibilities. Climate change is real and a threat to us all.